Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the third day of the full test review of the May SAT, May 2022 US SAT, that is. Today I'm going to be going over the math tests, sections 3 and 4. And I have to say, since getting COVID a week-ish ago, I'm feeling a lot, I'm feeling a lot better, but I might still like cough a little, which is kind of gross and ugly to look at, but you're just gonna get all of me. And besides that, today I feel a little fuzzy compared to yesterday for some reason. So I might not feel amazing, and if it turns out that I like poop out after one section, then I might continue this for day 4. I might continue. I might split the full test review for the math into 2 days so that I'm not as tired out. I do want to finish it all today though. Now, last little comment about the full test review. I'm not a math teacher, and so my explanations are not necessarily going to be very efficient because I don't even sometimes know the right word for certain things in math anymore. That said, I am a guy who used to be really good at math back in the day. And so whenever I take the test, I tend to get pretty good scores, as in on the May SAT I got 750, which was actually a little embarrassing, but I tend to get pretty good scores between 750 and 770 so far. I'm aiming at 790 or 800, so we'll see if I can actually make that happen in the, when's the next test I'm allowed to take? Was it October? Yeah, in the October test. So hopefully I'll be able to do, show a better score next, or this year, October. But until then, I'm a 750, 770 scorer for the math. So I'm an okay person at math. I have an intuitive sense for math. So I will be able to explain most questions. There will probably be 1 or 2 questions per section that I'm struggling to explain. So just watch this stream as if you're just sort of tagging along with me, as smart as you think I am or as smart as you think I'm not, whatever that may be, right? You're just tagging along with me as I review the entire test. So the math, I will struggle to explain a couple questions, but I think it's better to at least do the review than to skip the review altogether. So let me get this going. Here we go. So that's the math test, and yeah, I have a completely blank screen, or a blank PDF in front of me. Actually, let me make sure to get the QAS also in front of me, just so on my monitor, so that I can at least I can sort of double check every once in a while. There's every once in a while there's a sort of errors in these PDFs, so I want to be able to just cross check with the QAS. So let me just log into College Board right now real quick on my computer screen. So this being a full test review, what that means is I am not going to time myself taking this test, or I'm not going to time myself doing this review. I took this test less than a month ago. So I basically remember the test, to some extent, not perfectly. And so it's not an accurate representation of how I actually take a test. Instead, I'm just reviewing it all. So this is not like my SAT Solve Live playlist where I'm actually taking the test for the first time ever. This is just a review. So keep that in mind. I will not be timing myself. Okay. I'm basically logged in on the College Board website, so I can double check the QAS when necessary. And problem. Oh no, never mind. There it is. I found my Apple Pencil. Okay, now we're about to get into it. Question by question. Let's go. Section 3 offers courses that are either 3 or 4 credits per course each semester, registered for a total of 16 credits, 3x plus 4y, right? Yeah. So, I don't, you know what? Because I'm not a math tutor, I'm not going to try to explain everything. But, you know, you should know immediately that 16 is the total that you want out of those. Hey, let me make sure to get, oh, I just realized I need to get the scores in front of me. Oh, sorry, not the scores, the actual answers in front of me so I can just double check the answer right away. Give me a second. All right, and B is correct. B is correct. Number 2, the function f is defined by x plus 3. What is the y-intercept? So the plus 3 is the y-intercept, and hopefully you already know how to graph that. Like, you already know to graph it in like literally 1 second. That's what that looks like, you know? So that's 0, 3. Oops, whoops. Almost chose the wrong one. That's D, 0, 3. Let me just double check the answer in front of me. Yes, D is correct. The graph shown models the monthly revenue in millions of dollars for a particular marketing company from June 2009 to October 2010. So that's June. This is June 2009. According to the model, which of the following is closest to for June 2000? So this is number of months after June. You want to be at June 2009. So the closest number is between 0 and 20, but this is 10, and then we're less than 10, so like 9 or 8.5. We're looking at millions of dollars, and over here we have millions of dollars, so we're good for A. Okay, cool. Number 4. In the figure shown, they're similar to each other, as in they have the same proportions to each other. Where ACB is congruent to ECD. So these are this, yeah, so they're mirrored. They're mirrored on the y-axis, I guess. They're vertically mirrored. And AE is 15. Well, if you just know that 3 is half of 6, or 6 is double of 3, and you know the total of this is 15, then this has to be 5 to 10. Because if you're going to have, and basically what that is x plus 2x, right? X being AC, and C being CE. CE being 2x, right? So x plus 2x is equal to 15. So basically solve for x. So x is 5. Anyway, what is the length of CE? It's 10. So just double checking. D, that's correct. Moving on. Which polynomial is equivalent to this? So we're going to add 12 plus 6 for these, so we're all good over here. Then we're gonna add 13x cubed. Nope, sorry, x squared. So that's all we really need. All the other ones, just by process elimination, that's already good enough. I mean, now I can double check. We have minus 5x and plus 7x, so that's minus 2x, and we have plus 18 and minus 9, so that's plus 9. We don't need to double check those two, honestly. This was sufficient right here. Anyway, that's C. So looking at the correct answer, C is correct. Now we're moving on. Relates to positive numbers. All 4 of these numbers are positive, and we're trying to express x in terms of the other ones. So we're trying to have x is equal to something on the one side. So what do? We multiply z on both sides. Okay, we multiply z on both sides. So then that's going to leave us x plus w, and then we subtract. And I'm going to flip the order. Y z minus w. So that is yz minus w. 6 is supposed to be a, and a is correct. Let's move on. So I skip steps in my head just because I'm confident in me skipping steps when I'm writing this out. I don't necessarily recommend that. It's just what I'm comfortable with. Plus, I'm not even getting an 800, so don't copy me. All right, here we go. G of x is equal to this negative slope, this minor negative slope, plus 2.13x. Okay. Well, G of 20, oh, I see. The annual percentage increase, so that means this is 20 years after 1990. This is the population of 20 years after 1990. And we're talking about specifically the percentage increase. Okay. So 20 years after 1990, this is what we want. We want to say that 1.3x is the percentage increase annually. So no, not in 1990, over the previous year. This is annually. Yeah. And this is extremely high. That makes no sense. When we're talking about percentage increase. Okay, we want percentage increase. This is C. 7, I chose C. C is correct. Okay. For the quadratic function f shown, A, B, C are constants. Okay. For the graph, y equals f of x. Okay. So this is f of x, but this is y equals f of x in the xy plane. The quadratic function f opens upwards. Okay, if it opens upwards, oh, dude, I have to remember what these are. But if it opens upwards, then a has to be positive. So a has to be positive over here. And the coordinates of its vertex are both negative. Okay, so that means it's in the bottom left. Okay, the coordinates of the vertex have to be in the bottom left. So how do we get the bottom left, right? I forgot the different forms of the quadratic equation. But over here, x minus c plus x minus b multiplied by x minus c is like vaguely confusing to me, because those would be the I don't remember what that means. Hang on. For me to figure out what that means, I need to have. Now, my gut feeling just tells me. My gut feeling just tells me to have x minus b be x minus minus and x minus minus c, right? So I want b and c to be less than 0. That my gut feeling just tells me that, but I actually don't know 100%. I'm not sure how this formula works anymore, so I have to think about this. Okay, so what does b equal, right? What does b mean in this graph? Well, when x is at b, okay, when x is at b, then we get a 0, which means that is the x-intercept. So these are the two x-intercepts. I see. And c is also an x-intercept. So c is actually allowed to be, at least one of the b's or c's have to be negative. Okay, one of them has to be negative. So because one of them has to be, if the vertex is in the bottom left, then at least one of the x-intercepts has to be on the left side. Okay, it's possible for the other x-intercept to be on the right side, okay, on the positive side, but at least one has to be on the left side. And for you to get a negative x-intercept, your minus b has to actually be a plus b, which means that b has to be, either b or c has to be a negative number. And only this one has a negative number, so c is correct. And C, number 8, C is correct. Okay. I think I actually misinterpreted that one on the real test. I actually assumed that the formula was for the actual vertex itself, which was, I just got lucky. Okay. How many solutions does this have? Well, let's just... we have over here, let's just divide by 2, okay, on the first one. So that's x plus 3y is equal to 1. And then over here on the second one, let's divide by 2 again. So that's 2 on both sides, plus y is equal to 10. And you know what? Let's actually even make this, just because it makes it easier for me, I'm actually going to convert them into y equals mx plus b. So y is equal to minus x divided by 3 plus 1/3 is the first one. And the second one is y is equal to minus 2x plus 10. So these are linear equations, and they don't have the same slope. They're not parallel. So they have to interact with they have to intersect with each other, or at least one time. They have to intersect with each other because they're not parallel. Okay, so that's B. Correct. Oh, interesting. That's considered a hard question. I wonder why. Anyway, moving on. I guess the faster way of solving this is just to notice that is the word coefficient, like the coefficients around x and y in front of x and y are not equal to each other. So that means that they're not parallel with each other. So that's already good enough to like know that they're going to intersect as linear equations. Let me know if there's a more efficient way of thinking about that, but I wasn't efficient enough when I was first explaining it. Okay, so what are the solutions to this? Well, 2x plus 6 is equal to, the absolute value of 2x plus 6 is equal to 4, apparently. What is the sum of the solutions? Oh, so we have to find the two things that this can be, that x can be equal to. So that's 2x plus 6 is equal to 4, and 2x plus 6 is equal to minus 4, because either way, it would equal, the absolute value of it would still be equal to 4, okay? So, this is because the absolute value of minus 4 is equal to 4. So you should be able to do this pretty quickly, hopefully. So I'm just going to do this. In this case, x is equal to 4 minus 6 divided by 2. So that's minus 2 divided by 2, that's minus 1. And then over here, this is equal to minus 10 divided by 2. So that's minus 5. So if we're summing the two up, then that's minus 6. Okay, we're summing these two up. So that's minus 6. That should be A. Let me just double check the answer. A is correct. Number 10A is correct. All right, 11, here we go. The shader, I got this one wrong because of the stupidest reason. So annoying. Anyway, for this, all you really need to do is find, I just want to, first, I don't want to even bother with the inequality. I want to just work with it as if it were an equality. I want to work with the line itself. So line itself is y equals, if I do it in y equals mx plus b format, well, the plus b is plus 3, okay? And then what's the slope? The slope is positive 3, so it's 3x, okay? So I'm going for y is equal to 3x, because you can tell it's 3x because it's, from minus 1 to 0, it's, what's it called? Rise over run, right? So that's rise over run, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so So that's basically what I'm working with. Now I want to make it look kind of like this. So I want to put the x and the y on the same side, x and y on the same side. So I'm going to do minus 3x plus y is equal to 3. But then I want to make it, again, look similar by having the standard form where, you know, the first, what do you call this? First term? I want the first term to be positive. Like, I don't know what the word is for that. So I'm going to divide everything by, multiply everything by minus 1. Okay. And so now I have an equality that captures this line. Okay. Now I have an equality that captures this line. And I can choose anything in this area and just make it, and then just plug the number in, and then I just have to plug the number in such that anything in this area, any coordinate in this area comes up true. So if I'm going for x minus y is equal to this blank, okay, minus 3, and I'm going for less than or greater than, right? Like, right? I'm trying to figure out what to put in between. All I need to do is just check a really easy coordinate, and now 0, 0 is a really easy coordinate. The origin is a really easy coordinate, so I'm just going to do 0, 0. So 0 minus 0, is that greater than or less than minus 3? And it's greater than. Now it's a line, so we have to have the equal sign as well. So that is what I'm going for. D. I got this one wrong, right? It was like the stupidest thing. I think I got the slope wrong. Yep, so I'm looking at number, what number is this? 11, and I chose D. Wait, how come I got this one wrong? Oh my God, because I didn't look at the signs. Jesus. Okay, I got it right in my work, and then I chose the wrong one because I wasn't paying attention to the signs. All right, so that's me making a really stupid mistake, and I think I made a similar mistake on the real test. Luke was asking me, why is the U.S. and international different? Because it's not just the math, it's the reading and writing as well. Because the time zones are so different, like the U.S. kids take the test way later than the international kids, because the U.S. is GMT minus time zones, whereas the European and Asian kids are GMT plus time zones. It's theoretically possible that if you are a US kid and you have a friend in like Asia or Europe, you could like cheat by just calling him up, right? And that person can tell you what questions come out. So that's, it's an anti-cheating measure. All right, number 12, let's go. So I'm looking for a parabola with minus, with a negative a value. I think a is the right thing in the standard equation. I kind of forget. So like, okay, we have these minus 16, so that's pretty good. And I want to get the height y in feet of in x seconds. So now I know that the vertex is at 0.025, okay? The vertex is at 0.025. So I want a minus 2. Oh my God, that's the only one. So yeah, this is when I have a plus 0.25, that is going to give me my highest number, which is 6, which makes sense over here. So I don't even need to double check the rest, honestly. I just got it purely from looking at the vertex only. What app am I using right now? I'm using Nerdollet, long time. Actually, are you a different Nerdollet? You might be a different Nerdollet. There was a previous Nerdollet back in the day. Anyway, I'm using PDF. Frick, I forgot. What's it called? PDF Expert. PDF Expert. Yeah, so that's PDF Expert. Trapezoid A and B shown are similar. Trapezoid A and B shown are similar. So they have the same proportions. The length of each side of trapezoid A is 8 times. Okay, so this is x and this is 8x. Okay. So area is just, hey, if it's 8 times longer, then area is 8 times longer. So 8 squared longer, that's 64. So that's D. And if we're talking about volume, then it's 8 times 8 times 8 times longer, more voluminous. Did I say longer? Okay, if two shapes are similar, but one has any length that is 8 times longer than the corresponding length, in something else, then in terms of area, it's 8 squared times more bigger, okay, in terms of area, and it's 8 cubed times more voluminous, okay, in terms of volume. So that's 64. That's D. Did I check the answers for the 2 previous ones? Okay, DD. 12 and 13 were both D, and yes, that's correct. My reasoning is solid. Moving on to 14. Is this only for iPad? I'm not sure. I have no idea. I just used this one after fiddling around with a couple different PDF editors. I'm not sure. You might want to Google that, because I have no idea. I'm not really an expert on PDF applications. The function f is defined by f of x is equal to, okay, it's an exponential function. Is that the right name for this? What is the, so exponential functions look like this, right? No, it looks like this. Oh, Jesus, now I forget. If you go super minus on an exponent, wait, hang on, 3 to the minus 1 is equal to what? Hang on. I forgot what this means. Oh, this is just 1/3 square. Okay, so 3 to the minus 2 is equal to 1/9, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, so there is an asymptote. Okay, so crazy. See, this is how I literally, when I don't know what a symbol means or what a formula means, the way I reconstitute the meaning of it, like visually, I visualize almost all formulas. When I see a formula, I can visualize it pretty quickly. If I can't visualize it quickly, what I do is I just plug in numbers to remember how it works. And this is how I do it in my, now that I'm in my 30s and I don't do math anymore. It's a quick way for me to verify that my understanding of the formula is correct. Anyway, so yeah, now I know that this has a asymptote at, not asymptote, when you have x to the 0th, that's equal to 1, right? So it's at plus, yeah. It's at, when you have x to the 0th, that's 1. Sorry, something to the first power. Oh, no, it's just equal to this number. Oh, that's minus 48. Okay, so that's actually like this crazy number. Anyway, I don't actually need to do all this, right? I just need to get the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm just like over-explaining this right now, but all I really need is the y-intercept. I don't need to even visualize the entire graph. So the y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So I'm literally going to just do that. When something is equal to 0, when something is equal to 0, it's, when something is to the 0th power, then it's equal to 1. Then you subtract 4, so that's minus 3. So the asymptote will be at minus 4, but the intercept is at minus 3. So that's 0 minus 3. And then the graph will look something like this. Boop. Oh no, except shit. It's a minus number. Oh, so the asymptote is at, holy crap, now I'm confused. So the asymptote is actually at minus 1, minus 2. You know what, whatever. What I know, hang on. Oh my God, I'm screwing myself. When x is equal to 0, even if it's a minus number, it's still equal to 1 minus. But then how come my numbers are all wrong? Because where's my minus 3? 100 to the 0th power is equal to 1. What the hell is going on? Oh, it's because of this minus 4. Oh my God. I just somehow multiplied these two. You know what it is? I just forgot order of operations. Okay, so 6 is equal to, right, there we go. You know what, that explanation took too long because I was, what do you call it? Because I was too obsessed with figuring out the asymptote. So basically, if you don't bother with the graph at all, and all you think of is this is equal to 1, then you get minus a minus 4, and that's that. Now, in my head, just for academic sake, I kind of want to do the asymptote anyway to figure out what this graph would look like, and I want to do it in my head. So what would this graph look like? There's a multiplier. There's like is this called a coefficient? But there's like a coefficient of -8. And so it multiplies everything negative and then amplifies it by 8 times. And then there's this -4, which is not the asymptote, but it's kind of like the asymptote. So as x is approaching minus infinity, as x approaches minus infinity, it gets closer and closer to -4. Oh, okay, I see. -4 is the asymptote, okay. And then as x approaches positive infinity, it just keeps going super negative. It goes to minus infinity. So I'm pretty sure I'm correct. So yeah, this is -12, and then so we just get this graph that crosses through -12. Okay. Okay, yeah, I was having trouble visualizing that graph. So actually, this is not a good, yeah, I should have actually made this much longer. And then, yeah, then we would get this. Phew. Oops. All right, that's just me being academic. Also because I actually need to study for the next SAT, so it's good for me to be able to visualize these things like immediately instead of like today where I'm like struggling to visualize it. I want to be able to visualize the graph basically instantaneously because that makes my math so much less stressful. I don't know if this is how other people do it, you know, for you guys, but like, you know, when I was in high school, like I could visualize these things instantly, and I got 800s. Kind of no sweat. I didn't need to study for the math back when I was in high school. All right, so what's the equivalent of this? So there's actually, I recall that this is actually a typo. There's a typo here. Someone told me there was a typo, that this is actually supposed to be 2q plus 2r to the 2/3 power. So let's just go with this for now, okay? So first I'm going to just make it, you know, cube root of the square of these things, right? And let's square it. So that's 2q plus 2r, oops, 2r. And then it's plus 2 of 4qr, which is equal to cube root of 2q plus 4qr plus 2r. And that's D. Yeah, there was a typo on this, on the QAS. So now I'm just double checking answers for 14 and 15, but then on College Board I got signed out, so right now I need to log back in. Yeah. Oh, Nerdollet, thank you for the assist with the multiplying by -8. Yes, I was making a dumb mistake because I forgot order of operations apparently. I just multiplied the -8 and then the other coefficient like together immediately, which was like the stupidest thing. So I'm looking at question 15. And 14, and I chose AD, and AD is correct. I chose. So let's go into question 16. 16. All right. So what's the value of 2x? Well, let's solve for x first, right? So to solve for x, I'm just going to divide everything by 3. So x is equal to 5, and then 2x is equal to 10. Just making sure I did my division correctly, and I did, so we're good. So 10 is the correct answer. Let me just double check. Number 16, 10 is the correct answer. 17, what is the positive solution? So when we say positive solution, you know, we're looking for x to be a positive number. And for this, we can just square both sides. So x squared minus 9 is equal to 16. So that's x squared is equal to 25. So this could be minus 5 or 5, but we want the positive solution, so that's x is equal to 5. Okay? Like if I want to be technical about this, I could write where x is greater than 0, right? So then x is equal to 5. Now, I don't know if this annotation is what you learn in school, but that's just like simple, casual annotation for me to remind myself what kind of thing I'm looking for. In school, you might be learning, like I don't think you use the word where in school. It's more kind of computer sciencey, I think. So I don't know what you would use in school, but for me, that's intuitive enough. Line P is defined by 2x, okay? R is perpendicular. So we just need to get the slope. So let's find P first, right? So what's the slope of P? We're going to make it into y equals minus 4 over 2x plus 9 over 2. Now, we don't even need to do all this, but it helps to be like minus 2x plus 9 halves. Now, we don't even need to get this, honestly. We don't need the right side. We don't need the plus b side. We only need the slope. So then what's the slope? What's the perpendicular slope of this? It's 1/2. Okay. You flip this positive negative sign, and then you flip the numerator and denominator, and that's how you get the perpendicular slope. So that's 1/2. I'm just double checking. I actually think I got this one wrong on the real test, right? Because I made a stupid mistake. Oh, I didn't. I got it right. Well, anyway. So 1/2 is correct. And now we're moving on to question 19. What is the value of 2x? Oh, another 2x question? It's kind of weird. Anyway, we're just trying to get 2x here. So over here, I see some awkward numbers, but I'm just going to multiply by 3 on both sides to make my life easier. So by 2x minus 6 is equal to x plus 1. So let's just solve. Let's just solve for x. So subtract x on both sides, and then add 6 on both sides. X is equal to 7, so 2x is equal to 14. 14, what? Oh my God, I literally made the same mistake on the real test and I had to correct myself. Plus 3. Kill me. Oh my God, so embarrassing. So this is equal to 9. This is what happens when you're like, when you trust when you trust your mental math too much. This is what happens. Because I said multiply by 3 on both sides, and I forgot to multiply the 1 by 3. So yeah, it's really silly mistake on my side. Yeah, this is why your teachers in math class always tell you not to skip any steps when you're doing the order of operations, or like, when you're showing your work. When you're showing your work, that's what they call it, right? When you're showing your work, your math teachers tell you never to skip a step. And when you think that you are a smart person, when you assume that you are a smart person, rightly or wrongly, when you assume you're a smart person, then you kind of hate writing everything out by hand because it feels like such a waste of time. But then when you jump the gun like me and you assume you're smart and it turns out you're not actually that good at mental math, at holding all these things in your head at once, then you make mistakes like me. So, yeah, I'm sure some of you guys are much better than me at this. But I'm sure plenty of you guys also sympathize with me because you guys have made the same mistakes. Points A and B lie on a circle with radius 4. And AB has this is AB. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Is it 2 pi for a whole circle? I think it is. I think it's 2 pi for a whole circle. So if it's 2 pi for a whole circle, then what we actually want is over here, this is 4/5 of 1 pi. So this is actually 4/10 of 2 pi. This is 4/10 of 2 pi. I mean, we can, Like the way to do that is by multiplying 2 on both sides. Like 4 times 2 pi divided by 5 times 2, right? That's the same thing. So this is 4/10 of 2 pi. So that means we're talking about what fraction of the circumference of the circle? That's 4/10 of the whole circle, assuming that a circle is 2 pi. Hang on, 2 pi r? 2 pi r, that's diameter times radius, sorry, 2 pi r is diameter times pi. Shoot, I forgot. Dude, I forgot. I forgot my equations for this. But I'm gonna trust myself. I think 4/10 should be the right answer. Let's check. No, screw me. What happened? It's 1/10. Oh my God, because I didn't divide by 4, because of the radius. Okay. No, I was close. I was just being stupid because I forgot the radius. I wonder what's the most efficient way of thinking about this. So there must be an efficient way of thinking about this, and I feel like I'm thinking about it in a sort of inefficient way. So one way of doing it is just by, this feels less efficient intuitively to me, but one way I can go for is I could just go with what is the circumference, and that's 2 pi r, and then I could just say 2 pi r is 8 pi. Then the length, 4/5 pi of arc AB is what fraction? So what fraction is equal to 4/5 pi over 8 pi? Oh my God, what's this zoom? Okay, and then, okay, no, this works. Then you would just like multiply by 5 on both sides and divide, right? So then you get 4/40 if you multiply by 5 on top and bottom. And then pi, you can divide that out, so that's 1/10. That's actually really easy, actually. This is much easier. Yeah. Yeah, next time I do this, I will not try to just do this so mentally. This is a much easier way of getting the answer on paper. Okay, so that's the first section. I'm about to go into the fourth section. Let's go. Oh man, hey, let me get some more water and let me take a quick restroom break. All right, restroom break. Hey guys, I'm back. I want to take a quick, I just want to chill for like a minute before continuing. COVID was not the funnest experience, so, oh, look at my overexposed face. Let me see if I can fix this. Barely. Like slightly better. Okay. Yeah, I'm not looking too good, honestly. Dude, like, being sick sucks. But at least I'm actually not really coughing anymore, so that's good. Coughing on camera is so not sexy. Speaking of coughs. Okay, let's get going. Here we go. Function f is defined by. So yeah, we're number one. Hang on, let me get on the right page in the SAT on the College Board site. Okay, here we go. Function f is defined by this. What is the value of, so just 27 minus 16, you know, just plug it in. 9 times 3 is 27. That is 11, right? Hang on, 27 minus 16? No, that's, wait, 11 plus 16 is 27. Yeah, that is 11. Okay. So, that's C. Number one is C, that's correct. Okay, number two, let's go. What equation has the same solution as the given equation? Same solution. So basically, what is equal to the equation above? And I'm looking at this structure here. All we need to do is add the 7 on both sides. That's 19. So that's correct. So that should be correct. Number 2 is D. Correct. Let's go. Bharat. Math was hard. I'm kind of curious which questions you're referring to. And if you have any specific questions on any of these, then let me know. I'm not a math tutor, but I am decent at math. So I should be able to at least give you my thought process. And I will never say that my thought process is the most efficient one, just because I'm not a math tutor. It's not the kind of thing I think about all the time, but at least my thought process is usually defensible, usually. Anyway. So the graph of this, so what's the y-intercept? Oh, so that's the y-intercept. So that's 3. Oh, no, it's not 3. It's 2. Whoo! 0, 2. Okay. I almost, see, that's the kind of rushing thing that I do that makes me get things wrong. So B was correct. Yeah, just look at the mother effers. They put this 3 right there just to confuse me. Anyway, so as long as you don't rush, you should be fine. The graph P is shown. Which equation defines P? Oh my God, this is the one I got wrong. Anyway, we need a y equals mp. So if you look at this, it's y equals mb format. So what is the slope of this, right? And the slope is rise over run minus 3 over 1. Minus 3 over 1. But I think I did minus 1/3. But it's minus 3 over 1. Plus 5, so that's A. I got this one wrong, right? Oh, what the? Sorry, my page just went crazy. Yeah, I chose C on this. It's so embarrassing. On the real test, I cannot believe I chose C on this. It's so embarrassing. Of the 50 states, 12. So 12 out of 50 is. Just multiply this by 2 on both sides, so it's 24, right? You want the denominator to be 100 if you want percentages. So that should be B. Let me just double check. B is correct. Okay, number 5, let's go. Number 6, I mean, let's go. Janice raises chickens. Daily intake T in pounds. This is how much T as in how much food they, kind of wish this said feed, F for feed or something. Maybe T is total, whatever. In pounds, slightly more for about 10% more for the male chickens that are between 28 and 35 days old. Okay. The total is 90. So total is equal to 90 is equal to 0.32x plus 0.29y. Okay. And she has 100 male chickens. So 90 is equal to 32 plus, okay. How many female chickens does she have? Well, we need this to equal roughly, well, plus 29y. So we need 29y to equal 120, right? 0.29y is equal to 122 specifically. So we can, so without using a calculator, because I don't use the calculator on the calc section. I just round it, right? So divide by 3, right? Divide by 3 on both sides, and then multiply by 10 on both sides, and then you'll get for hang on, I should say that's, I don't know what the anti, that's like approximately this, okay? Approximately this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why did I multiply? Or sorry, why did I add? Holy. Okay. I went the wrong, dude, I'm making all these arithmetic mistakes. Dude, so annoying. Okay, so divide by 3, multiply by 10 on both sides. So divide by 3, multiply by 10, you're gonna get around 200. So, oh, now I have to choose between 200. And the question is, if I just go back to the original thing right here, if I stick a 200, do I get a 58, right? If I multiply 29 by 2, do I get a 58? I do, so 200 is correct. Okay. Tricky. They give me close numbers. Anyway, so that's that. Let me just double check. Number 6, I chose B. Where's number 6? And B is correct. The June 2022 math was hard, but everyone said it was easy. Are you talking about the US test? Are you talking about the US test or international test? I don't know. For me so far, it feels pretty easy. But then again, I don't take a lot of math. I have, like, this is literally my second math test in 10 years. So I don't know if this is relatively easy or hard or not. I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, Bharat, like, how much does it really help you to know what other people, how hard or easy it feels for other people? I mean, really, that's not like actionable information, right? You wanna just like know the thing that is hard for you. Like whatever is hard for you doesn't have to be hard for other people, but like, the whole point is that if it's hard for you, you can improve it, right? That's like, who cares if other people have already improved it? Maybe in your journey from kindergarten up to 12th grade, you know, in your journey, you somehow like you slept on those particular lessons that you needed, but now you can catch up on them. So I don't think it really, at least I have a hard time imagining why it would be, why it's even important to know whether other people think it's hard or not. I would just focus on like, what am I struggling on? And I think that would probably help you focus on things to improve. All right, which equation, the total weekly? So I just need to multiply by 7, right? So total daily is equal to 1/7. Oh, whoops, sorry. 1/7 of total weekly. So total weekly is equal to 7 of total daily. So I just add 7, multiply this by 7, right? That's that. D. Where am I? Where's my answers? Ah, I got signed out. I have to sign back in on College Board. Give me a sec. Oops. I remember trying to do this in my head and confusing myself, like, oh, which am I supposed to do? Like, which am I supposed to multiply or divide by 7? Like, I was getting confused doing it in my head, but like just writing it out like this makes it so much easier. So what number was this? Number 7? This is math, hang on. Math with calculator, number 7 is D. That's correct. And, yeah. The function g is defined by this thing. For what positive value is g of x equal to 13 is equal to 4x squared minus 3. So that's 4x squared is equal to 16 divided by 4 on both sides. So x squared is equal to 4. So positive value, we want 2. 2 squared is equal to 4. So that's A. Let's go, number 9. Triangle ABC, 23. B is 27. So C has to be, hang on. Oh, hang on. And DEF, same, DE are literally the same. So we already know that ABC and DEF are similar. Okay. Whether triangle ABC is, yeah, we already know. We already know. Because if we have the two angles, we already know that it's 180 degrees total for a whole triangle. So we already know that the third angles are equal to each other as well. So no additional information is needed. That's 9. That's D. Correct. 11. The density in wires, the current density, sorry, not the at the moment density. I was getting confused. I forgot about physics. Current density is defined as a current in milliamperes flowing through the wire divided by the area. Okay. So I don't know the symbols anymore for physics. I used to be good at physics, but I no longer remember. So C is going to be for my current, and A is the cross-sectional area, square millimeters. What is the current density in milliamperes per square? With a cross-sectional area of 6 and a current of 15. So that's 2.5. And let me just make sure that the units are the same. The units should be the same, millimeters and milliamperes. Yep, that's correct. So it's 2.5. What number was this? 11. 11, I chose B, and B is correct. Oh, I didn't even see 10. My bad. So 10. Most appropriate model for the data in the scatter plot. So we need a -6. We need a minus slope. We know it has to look like that, and it has to intersect around 6 or 5. So, oh, dude, what the? I looked at it wrong. Okay, see. Okay, so it's not y equals mx plus b. It's y equals b plus mx. I was kind of confused there. So we want to have the negative slope over here. And then we want to have the positive 6 over here. So that's A. 10 should be A. Yes, that's correct. Now we're going to 12. Oh, Bharat, I actually just understood what the heck you were saying. The June test. Totally misread. What is the radius of the circle in the xy plane? Oh, isn't there supposed to be a square here? Wait, isn't there supposed to be a square here? Am I crazy right now? There's supposed to be a square there. Dude, what's with all these typos? Okay, anyway, the radius is square root of 64, that's 8. Okay, so that's 12, 8C. I chose C. That's good. Correct. What's the value of x plus 1? Well, 6 over 3 is equal to x plus 1. So that's 2. Beep, beep. I chose C. C is correct. Vihari kicks a ball on the ground into the air. 1 second after being kicked, it reaches maximum height of 16 feet. So this is like in section 3. So I just need 1 second after. So that's over here. That's the only one. So like literally, this is already good because we have the plus 16. This is the vertex. So we're good. That's the vertex right there. We have the plus 1 over here. T is equal to plus 1. And then we have, that's, when time is equal to 1 second, that's going to be the highest number that we get. And then 16 is the height of the vertex. So that's B. 14, B is correct. 15, let's go. There should be a square. Oh, yeah. You're talking about number, I just saw it, but you're talking about 12. Thank you. The scatter plot shows a relationship between two variables, x and y. Okay, cool. Line of best fit is also shown. For how many data points is the actual value at least one greater? So we want to find one that's at least one greater, so that doesn't count. This counts, and so we have 2. So, and the annotation here is a little funky. I want to make it a little more obvious. So it's like, that's not sufficient, and that's not sufficient. Okay, so we have 2. Okay, remember, don't measure it like sideways or anything, or diagonally, measure it vertically. So that's the main thing. As long as you're measuring it vertically, you're fine. 2, so that's 15B. 15B, we're good. That's a medium question. I wonder why that's a medium question. Let me know if any of the, by the way, sometimes something's just so extremely obvious to me, and because I'm not a professional tutor in math, I don't know how to predict what's difficult for other people. So if you want me to explain something using my logic, using Saul logic, then instead of, the much more capable tutors that are out there on YouTube, for some reason you want my explanation, just, ask me specifically about the question that you're struggling with, and I'll give you my logic on it. 3,000 piece rectangular jigsaw puzzle has 216 extra pieces. So 3,000 over here, 216. The rest are inside pieces. 48R. What does so 48R is the inside pieces. So what the hell does R mean? Oh, rows. Okay. So 48R is inside pieces. You don't even need, honestly, you don't even need to read. You don't even need to read where are, this part doesn't even, it's not even necessary. Okay, we just know that 3,000 is total and 216 is edge. So the remainder, okay, the remainder happens to have a confusing looking shape, but you could just say 48R is equal to star, right? You could just make it star. So then do star plus 216 is equal to 3,000, and then just think about it. What is star equal to? So subtract 216. So what's that equal to? That's just all the inside pieces, right? So you don't even need to read this where R represents, just skip that part. Omicron, be gone. Omicron, be gone. My chest. Okay. Which pair is a solution to the system of inequalities? I don't know. I just looked at this and then the energy got sucked out of me. Well, y is less than both of these. I feel like on the real test, I might just like plug the answers in because I'm so lazy. Like I don't even know the approach for this that would make it efficient. I guess you could like get rid of the... I guess you could just solve for 1 first, right? Who's calling me? 844? I feel like it's spam. Uh, Hang on, I'm trying to think of what is an efficient way of doing this, because my gut feeling says actually literally just plugging it in would be faster, right? And so I'm looking at minus 2, 3, and then I'm calculating the first one, minus 2, 3. Is that true? Is 3 less than 7? And yeah, that's true. Then I just put it into the second one, minus 2, 3. So that's, is 2 greater than 3? No, it's not, so that's incorrect. But I feel like there must be a more efficient way of doing this. Does anybody know a more efficient way for this? I guess getting a generic solution, a generic solution for one of them first makes sense. Like, no, but there's no such thing as a generic solution because it's a whole field or whatever you call it. It's like a whole area that's shaded. There's no generic solution. I can't think of an easy way of. I guess one way you could do it is you could literally plot the two charts and then find the intersection, but that would be not very efficient. I feel like. But they have the same y-intercept. They have the same y-intercept. So minus 3x is going to look like this. And minus 1/2 x is going to look like this. So then you just need like a positive number. Oh my God. Oh no, that is the more efficient. Wait, wouldn't this also work? 1, 2. Oh, no, sorry, we're less than. Whoops. So we're less than, so we want to be under this. So minus 1, 1 would be correct. Minus 1, 1 would be correct because both of these slopes are negative. So minus 1, 1. This would be under the two lines. And then I could just double check. Minus 1 over here would be 3, plus 1 is 4, and that is 4 greater than 1? Yeah, that's true. And then minus 1 over here would be minus 1/2, or sorry, plus 1/2, plus 1 is plus 1/2 plus 1, so it's 3/2. Is 3/2 greater than 1? That is true, so that's D. Huh, I guess that is efficient. It's efficient to imagine, starting, like basically with all inequalities, it's probably efficient to just think of the equality, just assume it's an equality, and graph a line first in your head, and then visually deal with it. And minus 1, 1 is easier. I like how they put it in D. I feel like they did it on purpose so that any kid who tries to do just like manual, plug and play or whatever you call it, like plug it in, has to take some time to do it. So yeah, I think that is the efficient way of doing that. Okay, so 17 should be D. So I chose 16 DD, 16, 17 DD, and I got those correct. Let's go 18, let's go. Opinions on the proposal. 2 counties. The table shows the results of a poll. Support. County and opinion, sure. If one person is selected at random, which of the following statements is the greatest value? Well, basically we're just looking at these. Okay, we're not looking at the totals. So we want the greatest number in all of these, and the greatest number is 980. So we're looking at county 1 against, okay? But over here, we're looking at only undecided. Oh, so, okay, we're only looking at, hang on, the probability that the person is undecided given that he is from, oh, so this is interesting. We're looking at 94 over total, 95 over total, versus 95 over total, and hang on, I should do this. I'll do 2 colors. 95 over total, 91 over total. And then we want the largest fraction. Okay, honey 1, honey 2. Given that the person is undecided. The given that part has to be the denominator, because that's the assumption. So out of that group, which proportion are we looking at? And it's clear that we're not going to use a small denominator. Okay, we're not going to use this small denominator over here. Whoops. We're not going to use we're not going to use the huge denominator over here, because if we use the huge denominator, then we're not going to get the greatest value. We want to have the smallest denominator possible and the highest numerator possible. So that's going to be 95 out of 186. So that's county 1, I assume. Yeah. Sorry, what number was that? 18. 18, I chose C. Let me just double check. 18C is correct. Getting dizzy. The bar graph shows the number of commercials Albert saw each day that he watched television last week. For these 5 days, how much greater is the mean than the median? Okay. So the median is, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the median is Wednesday. And so the median is 8. Now, the mean, I have to actually count it all. Okay. Looks like I do have to count it all. So, hang on. 5 plus 7 plus 8 is equal to 20. Okay, 5 plus 7 plus 8. 20 plus 14 plus 16 is equal to 30, so that's 30. So that's 50. 50 divided by 5, so mean is equal to 50 divided by 5 is equal to 10. So the mean is 2 greater than the median. 2 greater than the median. That's A. 19 is A, that's correct. A county school board in a certain state is proposing a start time of 7:30 for all high schools. The sample of 100 high school students was selected at random from all high schools in the county. The selected students, so the whole population is high school students in the county, and the sample is from that population. What they approved, and 70% responded they did not approve. The largest population to which, right, it's just basically all high school students in the county. All high school students in the county. That's correct. C. Yep, C is correct. The bar graph summarizes the total number of businesses in thousands and tourism-related businesses in thousands. So tourism-related is just a subset, right? So it's always smaller, obviously. Okay. They seem to be interestingly more durable. They don't fluctuate as much. Like these other ones fluctuate a lot more. But this fluctuation is still true. Maybe not. Okay. It's hard to generalize. It's, the scale of the changes is so much smaller, so it's hard to notice. Anyway, tourism-related business employed 13.5 thousand people in 2009. Let's look at 2009. Oh, okay, I see. 13, so 580 businesses employed 13,000 people, 13.5 thousand people. So 13.5 at 0.58, right? 0.58. That's the number of people employed over businesses. So, you know, I mean, if I just use a pretty quick gut check, right? 13, how many times do I need 13? Okay, like if I divide it as a smaller number than what I want, right? Then I can have 12 divided by 0.6 or 120 divided by 6, which is 20. But then we want more than that. So it has to be greater than 20. So I'm going for 23. Okay, this is kind of equal to 120 over 6. Okay, 120, or like that. It's actually greater than, it's, you know what, I should make it. This is greater than, okay, 120 over 6, because 13.5, the numerator is greater, and 0.58, the denominator is lesser. So this has to be greater than this, which is equal to 120 over 6, which is equal to 20. So it has to be greater than 20. So that's what I'm looking for. That's C. That's how I do this without using my calculator. Hang on, I just got logged out again. Ah! I have to sign back in to double check the answers. Well, while I'm waiting for the answers, might as well move on to the, okay, no, I'm in. That number, that was question 21. Let's go to question 21. 21, I chose C, and C is correct. Okay, moving on. In 2008, what percentage of the total businesses were tourism related? So I just want to get 2008, 0.52. Okay, so how many times do I need to multiply 0.52 to get 2.6, right? 5 times. And that's literally exactly right. So if you have to multiply by 5 times, it's 1/5, so that's 20%. So 22, that is B is correct. 23, let's go. How many questions are there on the math test? 38, okay, I'm kind of close, right? Yep. Let's go, 23. The heat capacity of a substance is the amount of energy, joules, required to raise 1 gram by 1 degree. Heat capacity of water is 4.2. To raise the temperature 1 gram by 8 degrees. So just need, like you just need 8 times this. So that's 32. That's about 34. You just need 8 times this because we're trying to raise the, so you need 4.2 joules over gram Celsius, right? To raise it by 1 degree. So then you need 8 times it to raise it by 8 degrees. I don't know how to like make that look clean. Like, I don't know how to draw it out so that it looks good. Times number of grams times number of Celsius, right? And then this is 4.2 JGC times 1 gram times 8 degrees. Or I guess delta Celsius, right? So that's 8 degrees. Yeah, I guess that's how you do it. 24. Oh, wait, so 23, I chose C, and C should be correct. 23, C is correct. Okay, 24, let's go. So we have a 5% increase every term, T years after its restoration, every year, where 0, so this is within the first 5 years after the restoration. Months, we want months. Okay, so T is equal to 12 of months, okay? So what that's saying is, if you want it to be in terms of, right, T is 1 year, right? So that means you need the months. Oh, no, sorry, my bad. If you want to express, wait, what's like the fastest way to and most efficient way of making this make sense? When month is equal to 12, okay, when month is equal to 12, T is equal to 1. Okay, when month is equal to 12, T is equal to 1. So 1 equals month over 12, okay? Guess T of 12 is equal to 1, is equal to 12 over 12. So T of M is equal to 1, T of M is equal to M over 12. Is there a faster way of explaining that? And in a way where you won't get confused in real time? Trying to think of a better explanation. But at least intuitively, I could do what I was doing. You know, when M is equal to 12, okay, when M is equal to 12, T is equal to 1. When M is equal to 12, T is equal to 1. I don't know how else to annotate that. So T is equal. Well, okay, I'm just going to work with this. So which of the following best models the value of the dresser M months after its restoration between the 5 years, right? So then you just have to have M over 12 in the original equation instead of T. So that's 1,000 times 1.05 to the M over 12. 1,000, 1.5, M over 12. That's correct, C. I'm trying to figure out what's the fastest way to make this intuitively and robustly, like error-proof, that you can kind of quickly make that translation without accidentally doing 12M, right? I don't know how to quickly and intuitively explain that, because I almost made that mistake. So I don't know. Anyway, 24, I chose C. Let me just double check. 24, C is correct. Let's go. I can't think of a better explanation. If any of you have a really quick and easy, intuitive explanation for how to get this, just let me know. Like, for me, I just have to like transform it in my head until it makes sense. 25, let's go. How many distinct real solutions does the given equation have? I remember I got this one wrong, but I no longer remember what happened. So we're going to say that x minus 5 is equal to y. I'm going to just call it y. Or let's call it a. Okay, so that's a squared plus 10a plus 25 is equal to 0. Now that looks shockingly like a plus 5 squared is equal to 0. Now let's plug x minus 5 back in. X minus 5 plus 5 squared is equal to 0. So then x squared is equal to 0. So then 1. There's only one solution. There's only one solution where this makes sense. Now, I remember I got kind of confused because we were specifically thinking about distinct real solutions. And I was like, well, am I supposed to factor in the complex solutions? But you're not. And do we even see an opportunity for complex solutions? I don't. But the main thing to know is that whatever this equation is, this x squared is equal to 0 has to be true. So there has to be exactly 1. I don't know what... See, the more I think about the complex numbers, the more confusing this is. But if I just do the algebra straightforward, then there's no problem. Because let me go back to the original and just put a 0 back in. Oh, that would help. If I put a 0 back in, then I get 25 over here, okay? Then I get a 0 here. Then I get a... Oh, sorry. This is not 25. If I... Huh? Is that a 25? Oh, no, I made it wrong. Okay, yeah. If I put a 0... Let's just plug in 0 here. Then this would be 25. And then this would be minus 50. And this would be plus 25 is equal to 0. And that's true. So there's no problems there. So since there's no problems there, there's no reason to even think about complex numbers at all, I think. Just like, I remember this tripping me out when I was taking the test. But I think the real reason is because I don't remember complex numbers. Like, I just don't remember what to do with complex numbers. And so I was just like being insecure. But if I just went for the straightforward algebra, it would have been fine. If you guys have any comments about complex numbers here, like what I'm supposed to look out for, let me know. But I don't think there's anything. I think this is just one of those things where the College Board does that like chest thing, like just checking your confidence. You know, puffs out your chest. He's like, "Hey, you want to fight? You want to fight?" And pops out. I don't know if Gen Z kids do the same thing that we used to do. We millennials used to do back in the day. But when you want to scare somebody that you dared them to fight, then you just puff out your chest in front of everybody else and just fucking bump into their chest and be like, "What? You gonna hit me? You gonna hit me?" And then you just keep saying that until they either hit you or don't. And that's kind of like what I feel like the College Board is doing here. Is like, hey, real solutions, you know? And then it's like, oh, okay, are you gonna come at them with the complex numbers? That's kind of like just a juke. Anyway, is B correct? 25? B? Yes, B is correct. And I chose A because I got juked out on the real test. So sad. So sad. All right, one of two equations in a linear system is given. The system has exactly one solution. So it has to be a non-parallel. Just something that's not parallel. The slope just has to be different. That's all you're really looking for. So how do I get a slope that's different? Well, you know, like 4x minus y would be the same slope. So 4x plus y. But then this is the same thing as 4x minus y, because that would be parallel. So here, this is the only one. Okay. If you multiply both sides by -1 on A, it would be literally the same slope. So only C has a slope that's different, 4x plus y. And you can do this by converting them all to y equals mx plus b. But you'll find quickly that it's pretty repetitive, that it's very obvious. Y equals mx plus b. You don't need to do it, but if you do it, you'll notice that the slopes are different. Slope is only different for C because of the plus sign. Okay, 27. So I chose 26C, and 26C is correct. 27, let's go. A drawing of an object has a scale with length of 4 inches. 4 inches is equal. So 4i is equal to 9 in terms of feet. The actual length is 12y feet. What the hell is this y? What the hell is y? Is this a typo? What? What the hell is this y? The actual length is just 12 feet. I think that's what it's trying to say. Okay. Hang on, how do I represent this? So if there's an inch, okay, every inch is equal to wait, I'm actually really bad at this. Like, I'm trying to think of like what's the easiest way to visually represent this, but like I'm like having to do like the division and the multiplication in my head, and it's like, I wonder, so I can do it. So in real life, right, as like someone who worked in business and stuff, in my head, I would just like kind of fiddle with the variables until it just works, right? Just take a practical, no nonsense approach, like not very theoretical, but I am trying to think of like the most efficient way of doing this, of just like representing it on paper, and I'm struggling with it. Anyway, I think this y is a typo, so let me just get rid of this. It's like annoying. So the length, okay, is equal to 12. Is equal to 12 ninths times 4 of inches. Right? That's basically what I'm looking for. Like, I just know that, but I don't know how to explain that. Like, it just makes sense. Guys, I don't know how to do it. So, yeah, anyway, I freaking do not know how to explain this, so let me just go for it. 48 over 9th. Let's divide both of these by 3, right? Because 48 is equal to 12 times 4, which is equal to 3 times 4 times 4. 3 times 4 times 4, which is 16 over 3. Oh, but what's the stupid y? Oh, okay, I guess the y wasn't a typo, so we need to keep the y in. So that's C. Okay, well, intuitively, I mean, is my intuition, let's just double check. My intuition is correct, right? C is correct? C, I got it correct. I just don't know how to like tell you the actual steps for making that work. It's just in my head, it works. So anyway, sorry guys, I'm a terrible tutor for math. So if anybody has a good explanation for how to like come up with a formula for that on the spot, let me know, or share it with everybody. But like for me, I just sort of know that's how it's supposed to work. I don't know how to explain how I know. 28, let's go. The dot plots shown each represent a data set. Okay, now every time, I swear to God, every time I always get the definition of standard deviation like wrong. Okay, so the mean should be the same. Okay, this mean should be the same. The means are equal. Okay, because let's just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is 4. Yeah, and then you can sort of like plot them 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you would know that they're basically equal. It's the same number. The other way of doing it is just like summing them all up. 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 2, right? And just sort of like quickly double check, is that equal to 4 times 5, right? And they are, so the means are equal. So that's the easy part. Now the standard deviation, I always forget the definition of this. But basically, standard deviation means how much does it deviate from the mean? How much does it deviate from the mean? The farther away it goes. The farther away it goes, deviating from the mean. And data set B, am I right? Is that the right definition? So I'm thinking about a natural language definition. I'm not just doing some sort of mathematical definition because I'm not a math tutor. I'm just using my intuition for this. So data set B does not deviate from the mean at all, no matter how far you go, right? The population as a whole, whether they are at the 10 spot or the 30 spot, they're always at the mean. So the standard deviation is extremely low. Right? Or is it extremely high? Shoot. Is it high? Oh, no. Because or are we saying that the standard deviation, the more bunched up it is, the standard deviation is low? The more bunched up it is towards the middle, so annoying. I'm annoyed. You know what? I actually think it's the latter definition. Okay. Now I'm going to use Google to figure out what the hell standard deviation means because I actually need to learn this for the future SATs. But I feel like my gut feeling says the more bunched up it is towards the middle, the lower the standard deviation. Yeah, that's what I think it is. So the standard deviation of A should be lower than standard deviation of B, I think. So I'm going to go with A and then double check the definition afterwards. And I see that Jordan is explaining 28, let me just double check. A is correct. You copied it from the internet. Thank you, Jordan. A standard deviation is measure how dispersed it is in relation to the mean. And in this case, the mean is over here. Oh, I see. The mean is... Wait, so hang on. What is the mean in this case? Is 20 the mean? Is 20 the mean? Right, if you multiply everything, then 20 would be the mean. Am I right? Am I confused? Yeah. Am I confused? 20 is the mean. Huh. Am I supposed to just trust that the middle number is always the mean? Am I supposed to just trust that? I'm kind of confused. I guess I don't really understand normal curves. I need to go and figure out the definition of things. Huh. Yeah, it looks like I'm just not knowing definitions here. Weird. But anyway, the more bunched up it is in the middle, the lower the standard deviation. That makes sense. Low standard deviation, low SD. I'm trying to think of like a mnemonic for this. S. D. I don't know. How to make a mnemonic for this? Lower SD, higher. I don't know. Okay, I can't figure it out. But I just sort of know it now, and I just need to know how to define it to myself. It's like a definitional problem right now. All right, 29, let's go. The expression 0.7x represents the result of decreasing a positive quantity by 30%. I mean, how do I explain that? I just know that. LSD. Lower LSD gives you lower standard deviation. LSD gives you really high peaks. LSD gets you really, really high. Something like that. Lower standard deviation gets you really, really high. Okay, that basically works. Guys, I am not encouraging drug use. Okay, here we go. 30. Question 30. Hang on, I'm seeing some other chats. Do I know when the June scores come out? I think it's supposed to come out later. Usually SAT scores come out the next Friday, so about 2 weeks later. But I think for the June SAT, the scores actually come out sometime in July. I read that somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. You might have to look it up on Google, and I'm kind of curious what the answer is to that. No calc on this test was hard. Yeah, earlier Bharat was saying the same thing, that the math was hard, but I didn't take it, so sorry, I can't say anything. You're talking about the June test, I assume, right? Yeah, the June test. I can't really help. So this is f of x plus 1. So this is f of 1, regular f of 1. So regular f of 1. Okay, what's the easiest way of dealing with this, right? It's to pretend that we're just talking about it at 1, I guess, over here. And so then it's 2, 3. So notice it's at 3, right? So we're at 1, 3 and 0, 1. So the things that we're looking for is 1, 3 and 0, 1. 0, 1 and 1, 3, right? I don't know. This is intuitive, at least for me. That's just the way I do it. So then you could also just plug in 0. That also makes sense. But basically, for function f, no, but then if you plug in 0, then you have to subtract the 1. I think that makes it more confusing for me personally. So I just want to hit, if I plug in 0, I want to get a 1. For 0, I'm going to get a 1 over here. That makes sense. Okay? For 0, I'm going to get a 1 over here. That makes sense. So it's not these. But now for 1, I want to get a 3, and that's this one. That's B. Okay? Whereas this is f of x plus 1, so here it's actually going to be 1, 4. But what I'm actually looking for is 1, 3. And here it's going to be 0, 2. But what I'm actually looking for is 0, 1. You know, it's like, at least that's the way my brain works. Okay? And so that's how I got B. Let's look at 30. I don't think I even double checked the answers for 29. So 29, 30, I got BB, and the correct answers are BB. All right, now we're about to go into the fill in the bubble part of the test. I don't know what you guys call this part, but I need to take a quick restroom break, so I'll be right back, guys. Quick, like 2-minute break. Thank you. That would have been really dangerous. Holy shit. It would have been so annoying if I went through the thing muted. POV, you live in Europe and you guys have to wait until August. Or POV, you are an adult, a grown-ass adult who has already gone through college and you have to wait until October. That's me. July 13th, this core release. July 13th. Dude, they make you wait more than a month? Hey, man, that's rough. So, right, going back to that, can't you also just plug in 0? You would have to plug in 0, and then you have to also know that you're looking for the -1 of the actual one, right? Which I think is kind of confusing, right? If you plug in 0, you would get 2, you get 1 over here, and you get 2 for C and then 3 for D, but then you have to know that you're looking for 1, which is kind of confusing. So, like, you'd have to know that it's either A or B, which is like not mapping onto the graph at all. Yeah. So I think for me, just putting the -1 on the right side of it makes it easier, right? For me, I don't know. I don't know if there's a better way around that though. So just if you guys have like a better trick for dealing with these kinds of weird it's called translation, right? Vertical translation, is that the right word? Translation? I think it's called translation. But yeah, if there's a better way of dealing with translations, let me know. All right, let's go to question 38. Question 38. Over a period 1 year, 2 points on opposite sides of a mid-ocean ridge move the distance of 4 centimeters farther apart in meters. Well, that's 0.04. Because 100. Okay. I don't know how else to explain that, honestly. These are the kinds of things that you actually do use as an adult. As an adult, you do these things, these calculations very quickly. Not like some of the calculus stuff or calculus-y algebra stuff, the things that are really setting you up for calculus, which is really just setting you up for like mechanical engineering, right? So all the calculus-y things, like those are things I don't really use as an adult because I'm not thinking about shapes all day. But I am thinking about exponential growth. If you're in business, you think about exponential growth all the time. Or compounding returns, you think about that all the time. If you're in biology, you're thinking about exponential growth all the time. If you're looking at studies, you're thinking about population and sample and standard deviations all the time. Those are all normal things to use in the real world if you're not a mechanical engineer. But if you are an engineer, you do need to know shapes, and that's like super important. Otherwise, you have collapsing bridges and shit. So I guess that's also really important. People always complain about how useless calculus is, but I still think it's valuable to like be able to make those transformations in your head, right? I think it's good to learn it at least once. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a math nerd. All right, what's the value of x minus 3? X minus 3 has to. So what's the value of? You know what? I'm just gonna call it 7 star is equal to 2 star. So what is the value of star, right? And the star value of star is 0. For 7 star to be equal to 2 star. It has to be 0. It's the only way. So 0 is the answer. So star is equal to 0, where star is equal to x minus 3. I'm noticing that this is actually a pattern where they try to make things trickier than it really needs to be by just giving like this long, extra complicated thing, and you can just simplify it by substituting it for some other random symbol. Like this happens like 2 or 3 times per test, it seems like, or maybe even 3, 4 times per test. So if you just get the habit of being like, okay, that's like a long looking thing, but the overall pattern is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for x minus 3. I'm not trying to do plus and minuses there. That's kind of too much work. We're looking for x minus 3 itself. So just replace that all into a symbol. I assume this is pretty common. This is pretty common advice in the math tutoring world. I assume it's common advice, but if it's not, then I'll take some credit for being a genius. Okay, here we go. One of the factors is x plus b, where b is positive. What's one possible? So we just need to factor this. So how do we factor this? Let's take the x out. 2x squared plus 14x plus 24. Let's take the 2x out, sorry. 2x out, so let's actually make this 7x and 12. Okay. So now we have a 2x, and then we're gonna so I'm looking at 6 times 2, right? 6 times 2 is equal to 12, but the problem with 6 times 2 is you can't make a 7 with a 6 and a 2, but you can do that with a 4 and a 3, so 2x plus x plus 4, not plus, multiplied by x plus 4 plus x plus 3, okay? So now these are our 2 possible values of b. You can use either 3 or 4. So going to 33, 3 or 4 are correct. 3 or 4 are correct. Yep, 34. And I hope that you guys all feel comfortable taking the math with calc without an actual calculator. I don't think you really need the calculator for this. Just need to learn how to, like, learning to round, guys, is such a useful skill in real life. Like, if you guys ever want to sell out and work for like Google or Facebook or Amazon in the future, you know, when you study your completely useless sociology degree and you know how to talk about like Lacan and whatever, but like you're like, oh my god, I need a effing job, and you're like, okay, I'll sell out to Facebook or Meta. Like, you know, being a product manager and like being able to make calculations in your head, but just rounding it without a calculator, that's so useful. Just FYI, guys, you know, viewed from the other side. So just letting you know. If you decide to take the with calc part without a calculator, I will applaud you. Class size, how frequently we see this in this population. There's 109 classes, so you know this number is going to come out to 109 total. And what's the median class size? So what's the halfway point of 109? That's like 55, right? So I'm looking for, okay, I'm just looking for cumulative. So this is 10, this is 23, this is 53. So we're not at the halfway point. We're not at 54.5 yet. So this is the point at which we get the median, and that's 24, okay? Because if this is 89. So the 55th one is in here. 54.5 is in this grouping, okay? 54.5 is in this grouping, so the class size, the median class size has to be 24. 24 is correct. Excuse me. Omicron, be gone. Omicron, be gone. 35. When Arbin walks home, she sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, when Arbin walks from home to class, like rapping. Okay, when Arbin walks from home to class, he burns 4.2 calories per minute. When he rides his bike, 5.1. Okay, so walking. Okay, so how many minutes? Okay, in a week. So okay, how about this? 4.2 W plus 5.1 B, where is equal to 531, I assume. 531, where W plus B is equal to 120. There we go. So W is equal to how many minutes you spent walking, and B is equal to how many minutes you spent biking, and 531 is the total number of calories you burn, and then W plus B has to equal 2 hours, which is equal to 120 minutes. Okay, so we're solving for W. we're solving for W, which counterintuitively, it actually helps to solve for B first, because then you can erase the B's. Does that make sense? So I'm going to just say B is equal to 120 minus W, okay, based on this formula right here. And then I'm going to plug this B into this B. So I'm going to get 531, 531 is equal to 4.2 W plus 5.1. Oh my God, I have so little space. Is this how, guys? All right, 5.1 times 120 minus 5.1 W. Okay, here we go. So at this point, 5.1 times 120, actually I can just calculate that pretty quickly in my head. That's 600 plus 12. So that's 612. So 612. So I'm going to subtract 531 on both sides. So 531 plus 80 is 601. No, plus 70 is 601. Plus 80 is 6. Plus 80 is 611. So 81. Okay. So we're going for 81. And then we're doing 5.1 minus 4.2, 5.1 minus 4.2, so that's 0.9 W. Okay, cool. That's nice and round. I can actually go ahead and divide both sides by 9 and then multiply both sides by 10. So do that to get W. So W is equal to 90. I kind of did that too much in my head. I did a lot of those calculations in my head, and so that would be very dangerous on the real test, because when I just do all those calculations in my head, I don't know. Maybe back when I was in high school, I was much more meticulous, and I would make these mistakes. But now that I'm 33 and I kind of don't give a F, I sort of make these sloppy mistakes all the time. So what I'm going to do right now, before I check the answers, I'm just going to double check with a gut sense, like, does that make sense? Using the original equation. So if I multiply 90 times 4, I get around 360. Now, 90 times 4 gives me around 360, but that only leaves me 30 minutes left. So 30 plus 5 gives me around 150, okay? And this is going to be a little less than 530 because, I rounded down 4.2 to 4, and I rounded down 5.1 to 5, right? So 360 plus 150 should be less than 530. And if that's right, less than, but kind of close-ish to 531, I mean. And if that's right, that works. So 360 plus 150 is 410, 510. So 510 is pretty close to 531, but a little less, and that makes sense to me. So I'm happy with my W equals 90. And that's how I would just double check my math on the real test when I don't have a calculator. 90 is correct. 90 is correct. So let's just draw that out separately so that, all right. Point O is the center, sure. The diameter UX bisects WY, sure. So the radius is 6. Okay, radius is 6. And XZ is 2, so that means this is 4 and 2. Okay. What is the value of X? What is the value of? And, if WZ is equal to, WZ, root X, then what's the value of X? Okay, so let's just make this into a triangle where this side over here is 4, and this side over here is 6, and so we know that OZ is 4. We know that OW is 6 because that's the radius. And we know that now WZ is root of x. So we just need to find, we need to solve for, I'm just going to call that C, right? Oh no, it's actually B. So A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So in this case, 4 squared plus B squared is equal to 6 squared, 36. So 36 minus 16 is 36 minus 16 is 20. So B is equal to root of 20. And so, which is equal to root of x. So x is equal to 20. Oops. Ah. Oh, and you're supposed to know that this is a right angle, but I guess even if you don't know, it doesn't matter, right? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Wait, A squared plus B squared equals C squared only works for right triangles? I think that's true. Yeah, that only works for right triangles. Oh, totally forgot. Wow. Yeah, so 20 is my answer. Let's go. 20 is correct. 37, 38. Oh, and is this the end? It is. Nice. At a certain location in the Columbia River, the velocity of the water flow at different depths was measured. The scatter plot shows 11 measurements, so there's 11 dots. A line of best fit is also there. Cool. According to the line of best fit, what's the predicted velocity at a depth of 4 feet? So that's 1.2. 4 feet, 1.2. That's the velocity. Feet per second, just double checking the units. Just double checking the units. Yep, 1.2. 1.2 is correct. Now, 38. For what fraction of the data is the velocity of water flow is the predicted one greater than the actual one? So that means we're looking for the number of dots that are under the line. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 11. Okay, because for these 5 that are under the line, the prediction, okay, the line is the prediction, is greater than these 5. So 5 out of 11. And that's correct. Oh my God. I do so much better on these. No, actually, no, I did make a couple silly mistakes. I think I made like 2 silly mistakes on section 3 or something like that. I don't remember. But, it's actually kind of enjoyable. It's kind of enjoyable talking about math, even though I don't have the vocabulary for it. All right, well, that is the math test or the math sections, for the 2022 May US SAT. Looks like we have no other questions in the chat, so I'm going to wrap up. Guys, this wraps up my I Took the May SAT playlist. If you haven't seen the reading and writing reviews, you should be able to find the playlist, the link for the playlist. You will be able to find the link for the playlist in the description below. Here, let me, hang on, is it around here? There should be like a more button somewhere. No, it's on this side, right? Go down here, okay? So you should be able to see a playlist link. In the description, I say, here's my playlist for all May 2022 US SAT videos. So that link will take you to some of the other videos that I streamed, and you can review the reading and writing. For some of you guys who took the June SAT, good luck when the scores come out. I'm kind of curious, how you guys did. And specifically, if watching my streams for the reading and writing helped you out at all. So just, it's always good to get some moral support for all the streaming that I do. So let me know if any of my previous streams helped you out. Finally, as the summer approaches, or for some of you guys, the summer has already begun. Some of you rising seniors might be preparing for college applications and maybe even college tours and whatnot. I don't have a clearly defined plan yet, but I do know I want to do some workshops for college application writing and college application research. I should say it the other way around, college application research and writing. I want to do some workshops for that during the summer. I'm not sure if I want to do it for free or for free on YouTube, or if it's like a paid thing. I haven't really thought it through. I'm kind of overwhelmed right now with, first I got COVID, so that just overwhelmed me. And second, now I have to do some last minute changes in my summer SAT prep classes. So yeah, it's just been a little crazy for me right now. But I will be probably after June. By the end of June, I know I should have my bearings and my wits around me again. And so I am thinking of doing some streams or some content along those lines for college application research and writing. If that interests you, let me know. And if you want to chat about it, join the Discord. Our server is full of delightful young individuals such as yourselves. Actually, no, it's like half dead. The server is like half dead because we used to have like a real server, and then Discord. Anyway, this whole thing happened. But come and help revive the feels in our Discord server, and I'm always chilling close to my phone or computer throughout the day, especially like during the weekdays. So you guys can ask me questions. You guys can ask each other questions and get some help for whatever the heck it is you're doing. So come in with the mentality of giving as well as receiving, and I think it'll be a good run. Guys, I hope you have cool plans for the summer, that you're, becoming a better and better, whatever it is you want to be better at, and that you are growing throughout the summer. Part of growth just means relaxing and chilling out and healing. Okay, so do that. And part of growth just means finding something you're excited about and doing a lot of that. So hope you find something you're excited about and you keep on growing. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Till then, good luck out there. Peace.